So at this time, I'm going to ask the candidates for Board of Selectmen to come up. So the first question you're both going to answer is, what specific skills do you bring to this position and what benefit will it bring to the board?
Okay, so specific skills, some may know I've been on the advisory committee or finance committee now for about 10 years. As well, I've had the unique opportunity to do a significant amount of training in online classes through the Massachusetts Municipal Association, MMA, which tells us how municipal finance and municipal accounting go together. As well, with those 10 years on the advisory board, several of those years as the board's chair, I've had the unique ability to actually put the town's budget together. You know, before we had Tracy, the finance committee or the advisory board built the town's budget. And we were charged with that. We would go back to all the different departments, learn what was going on, and make management changes or adjustments based on what we saw. We've worked with the police department, the prior chief, Jimmy that was with us, built the fire department today to what it is, which is very significant to where it was.
You too.
People can follow up with you afterwards.
Do you need me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
What specific skills do you bring to this position and what benefit will it bring to the board?
My skill set for the board is probably not as extensive as this gentleman's is, but mine is going to be to, as I said in the past, is I don't really know a lot about the town government and how it works, but I do know that information should run the town. The information out to the voters and the people is something that I think, not knowing a lot about the selectmen duties and stuff, I can still accomplish that by being on the Board of Selectmen and trying to, in the town, I've been in here for 22 years, and it seems like we're improving slowly with the information that we have. There's with Nextdoor and the Facebook page and Carol and, everybody putting the information out there, but I think we need to do more, and that's what I want to try to accomplish is, I don't have a lot of experience as selectman and stuff, but I want to accomplish getting more people in the community involved.
Question 2. Identify a particular challenge for the town and how you propose to address it.
Okay, so the particular challenge of the town, and we have many, but I will tell you the one that is most outstanding, and it's threatening the financial vitality of the town, and that is the condition that the water department is in. We have been through several iterations of programming to decide what's the best way to do it, how to get it done. But there's a mindset, and to some of what Mike is talking about, in terms of information, in a lot of ways, there's a mindset in the town that the folks who are connected to the water system are the ones who are obligated to pay for this thing. And I can tell you that the ratepayers don't own that system. It's not a collaborative, it's not a cooperative, it's owned by the town. And it is ready to go kaboom, and when that happens, it'll be probably the single largest financial crisis we've ever had.
Identify a particular challenge for the town and how you propose to address it.
The challenge that he has just spoken of with the water is a perfect example of educating the people. And another problem that we have is we have to get the community, the whole town, there's 3,000 people, over 3,000 people in this town. We have to get them on board with the good of the town as well as the good of their own pocket. The water system's only shared by 102 houses approximately, and we need everybody to be on board if we ever want to move ahead with this water project. But the only way we're going to get people on board is to educate them on these things and get the information out to them and try to bring more community to the people. But, this town is divided by, I have water, you don't have water, I don't want to pay for your water, you pay for your own water and stuff. And it's the same with a lot of the projects. A lot of the projects are like that. I want this, but I don't want that. We have to figure out a way to get everybody to get together and get the good of the town to be the first thing that people think about. That's what I want to try to do.
Thank you both. For the road commissioners, please. How do you propose to maintain Dunstable's rural character while maintaining the roads and continuing to increase their safety? Nobody ever said I was going to make it easy.
No, I appreciate that. At this point here, there's a lot of things that are going to be looked at on how to move forward with taking care of the roads and making adjustments to how the roads are maintained. You know, we're on a very tight budget here in town, and there's a lot of things going on, and we just got to try to get through, find out where we need to put the money, what we need to fix, and go from there.
Thank you. How do you propose to maintain Dunstable's rural character while maintaining the roads and continuing to increase their safety?
For the roads, Mass Highway is now instituting a plan called asset management, and it's going to be required here in 2 years of all towns and cities in the state in order to qualify for the state and local funding grants. So I think we can focus on that and maximize what we can get from the state and from other grants that are available to put into the roads, and also take an inventory of the roads and see which ones are the most heavily used and which ones require the most maintenance, and use our money wisely. That's easier said than done, but with this help of the state and also the Middlesex County governments, which has been instrumental in the planning and getting us to understand what the needs of the town are and what the desires of the residents are. So we should address all of that. We should address what the needs of the infrastructure are, which is the biggest part of the infrastructure in town, the needs of the town's folks and what they want to do with the highways, and how we can best accomplish that with the funds we have.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
If I could now have the candidates for school committee come up. Your first question. How do you balance Dunstable's financial situation while meeting the educational needs of our children?
All right, well, that is the question. So how do we balance that? What we need to do is decide as a community what we want to do, what we want to have as a character. Okay, so open space and rural character is important to many people. It's one of the reasons why I moved here. But education is also important too, and I don't think there's anyone in the room that wouldn't agree that we need to educate our children correctly. So balancing the two, what do? I think we need the schools to have a good faith effort in making sure that they use the resources that we give them well, correctly, and in the best interest of our children. And if we do that, and then they still need additional monies, then we can consider and talk about what we want to invest in and how we want to invest in our schools in order to make sure the money's being spent the right way. And I think if we did that, if people were educated and people knew that the schools were doing everything they could with the resources they had, then maybe we would make future investments and be able to balance the rural character of our town, which means all the money's going to come from the residential taxpayer, with the needs of the school, which I do think that everybody else thinks is important as well.
How do you balance Dunstable's financial situation while maintaining the educational needs of our children?
Sure. So, like all our current kids now, I was one of them going through the school system. But going through the past, when I declared running in March, up until the next 2 weeks, I've been meeting what I call going on a Dunstable tour, going around with town officials and people around the community talking. And the biggest thing they're saying is money. But that doesn't necessarily mean pumping money into the district. What I've been hearing is invest wisely. And that means budgeting properly and managing the money in a smart way. In a few years, ever since I left the district in 2010, it's not always been how it has been. So that's definitely one thing. And also just communication between the different boards in Dunstable and Groton, the FinCom, the Advisory Board, and the Board of Selectmen, and the school committee. I believe formal communication with everyone will get everyone on the same page, and then there won't be this mismanagement and miscommunication. Thank you.
Question 2. The role of the school committee members is to act as an advocate and liaison between the town and the district. How do you plan to accomplish this?
That's the second question. Okay, so how to advocate. So there's been a recent effort to have more of a collaboration between the two towns and the boards, right? And that's helped a little bit. That's helped this year to identify some needs and invest money the right way and sort of bring some costs down. I'd like to continue to do that. So my plan, in order to continue the advocacy, is to actually shadow classes, go to classes, see what's going on. I want to talk to teachers and understand from their perspective what's going on. That helps me too because I'm a parent, so I want to talk to them and see what's going on in the classes. And then talk to community residents, because I think all of those people need to be involved in the decisions in order to advocate correctly. Because I'm a representative, right? So I can tell you everything I think and what I believe, but what really matters is what we believe and what we need as a town. So getting and gathering all that information, processing it, and then making it part of a decision-making process is my plan for advocacy and what I've done and everything I've done and what I would bring to this position.
The role of the school committee members is to act as an advocate and liaison between the town and the district. How do you plan to accomplish that?
Sure. So, like I said, going on my tour of Dunstable, I've been meeting with town officials, with different groups, parents, and even kids. Hearing kids' stories are quite sad, some of them. Tomorrow even, I am addressing the senior group of Dunstable. I've been asked to come in and speak to them. A piece of my platform is to have inclusivity across the board. Whether you don't have kids in this district, whether you go to a different school choice, whether you're a senior, maybe your family is no longer here and it's just you, I believe everyone should have a voice at the table. So whether that means going out door knocking, I know not everyone has Facebook or email, or just calling everyone, I believe everyone should get a seat at the table. So, and I like doing that. I like going out and talking to people and meeting new people and bringing everyone into the fold. And something as special, something as important as this school district and the financial troubles we are heading into, it's important that everyone's on the same page. Thank you.
Thank you both. If I could now have those candidates for the Parks Commission. Why did you choose to run for this position and what do you think you can bring to the commission?
That's an easy one. There were only a few more openings left. And I knew time was limited to get involved, and that is my key priority in this town, is to get involved. If it's not this year, it'll be the year after that or the year after that. I'm just trying to grow as an adult and as a person, as a parent, and as part of this community. The things I bring to this is that one of my biggest strengths, which I know might not be believable at this very moment, is communication. I don't shut up. So I am a communicator. But oddly enough, I don't do social media. I find that those are snippets, those are tidbits, although I do agree with the gentleman's position about getting more information that way. But I'm a huge communicator. I talk to people. I want to understand what the issue is. I don't like to make rash conclusions. That I'm also extremely organized. I'm also very efficient, good at planning. Now I'm just listing things. So I'm good.
Sorry.
He's really good too, though. We've had a great conversation.
Why did you choose to run for this position and what do you think you can bring to the commission?
Thank you for the compliment. I want to finish the job I've started. I've been helping Dave Greenwood on the playground subcommittee. We have a reasonable plan to put a new playground on the backside of Swallow Union. It's had its run. It's time for a new one. When I take a job, I want to see it through. I want to finish it. I'm a detail man. I'm a planner. I want to get things done. And I want to make sure the town at least had a reasonable chance to evaluate this option with the cards on the table and thumbs up or thumbs down. But even if the playground doesn't go forward, there's still plenty of things to do on parks. There's maintenance that needs to be done. There's input from the citizens that we need. There's outreach that we, the Parks Commission, need to do to the town to make sure they understand where we're going with the town, common areas, what needs to be improved, and what suggestions you have for future use. That's what I want to do. Thank you.
And last but not least, the candidates for planning board.
Just a one-year planning board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, stand up too.
George, we don't need you. You're not contested. Okay. So the planning question. How do you propose to balance Dunstable's rural character with future development?
Well, that's one of the things we've been working on ever since I've been on the board for the past 40 years or so. You just can't put a stop to development. There are constitutional rights and people have the right to put in property. Where the planning board comes in is you try to form the plan which is consistent with the interests of the town, such as they call it cluster zoning, where you try to get as much open land and houses in smaller lots so the town can maintain its rural character. What I can bring is 40 years I've been there. I've been living in the town since 1975. I'm still a blow-in, but I'm on probation for being a townie. And that's it. I mean, we've been there, we're doing it, and doing it fairly well. And I must say, I'm impressed with the candidates I've seen here tonight, and I'm very happy to be part of it.
Thank you. How do you propose to balance Dunstable's rural character with future development?
Sure, so I think it's identifying a strategy for the town and finding a way to maintain the rural land and its beauty and character, but also finding a way to create some growth opportunity. You look at Farmhouse Cafe, it's done really well. I've been there every single Saturday since it's opened. I think it brings a great character to the town. I think we can use a few more businesses like that in order to sustain growth. And that will create more focus on, tax revenue, tax base and things like that. So it enables a town to grow while maintaining its rural character and, pushing on some, developers that I saw on my own street with the struggles on our street with the developer to make sure that they hold up their end of the bargain and keep them accountable for the work they're going to do in the town.
I disagree. I prefer choice. So I think that obviously balancing the rural character with people that want to develop. I mean, the people that want to develop are not the planning board themselves, right? The planning board doesn't say, I want this here, I want this here. We have to constantly analyze who is coming in and how they're going to build their, whatever the thing is, whether it's a subdivision or whether we need to rezone commercial or something like that. We always have to balance what people are asking us to do with the character of our town and how we as a town see, how we see the character of our town. And it's just, I don't know if it, I think it's just the job of the planning board to constantly balance those two things, because we'll always have pressure to develop, right? I mean, there's like 14 lots available right now. I mean, there'll always be pressures to develop. We just have to balance that.